Hi, welcome. This is a quick video, maybe about 10 minutes, to explain how to use this little utility that can help you get more out of Zoom chats, the Chat Kitchen. This video is about how basically this tool reformats Zoom chat logs that you can then use as resources during your presentations or after. You could also use this if you go to a meeting and the chat exploded. It's really just flew by and you'd like to review it, but not so much going to talk about that, just mentioning it. Speak of the devil. So here is an example of a chat log, and not everybody opens these because they don't look all that exciting. Here's another version, or the same one, but now looking at it up close. Just want to talk about it just a little bit. You'll notice that each one of these logged events has several elements that repeat. You have a timestamp, you have the word from, you have the person, that's what we're interested in, and then you have this target, the destination of who the message is for. If it's a direct message, it just shows that person's name. The next line is where you get to see, what they said. And if you look at this, your eyes kind of water. There's just a lot of extra. In fact, there's sort of double the information, and that's what we're addressing. It was a problem for me, so I wrote this tool to help myself. If you work synchronously with Zoom, you teach a class, you do a presentation, or if you have a laptop or a desktop, and if you're interested in what the formative and sort of assessment qualities to get out of this might be, this is for you. A little bit more. The tool is at hyperenglish, spelled one word, .net/CK for Chat Kitchen, and it's HTML and JavaScript in one page, so it's easy to work with if you'd like to experiment with that. And if you want more of a discussion of what other ways there are to get at these chat logs, here's a little bit.ly link. Check that out. Okay, 3 steps. That's what we're going to go through. They're kind of compressed, a little dense, but here we go. First thing, you just got to get ready. Your desktop has got to have a little, you need to be familiar with your computer, basically. The file system that you have is all ready. If you've been hosting Zoom, been offering, a glimpse of these little log files, these chat log files, and maybe any screen captures that you've done within Zoom, and you've kind of been curious about them, and they just live on your computer somewhere. But we're going to be looking at that again, but during the session instead of after. You're going to be working with text files, so you're going to be using your default text utility, and we're going to want to have to the side a browser tab or its own window for the Chat Kitchen. And by the way, that's what this looks like. So you got the a couple of buttons here, and down at the bottom, of course, a box that we're going to put that chat log into, and a submit button. And that's kind of it, a very basic copy-paste workflow here. There's one trick, and it's kind of a special trick of getting Zoom to send us that chat log early rather than, as I said, offer it up at the end. So we're going to get that file, and then we're going to copy it with the text utility, and then we're going to paste it into the Chat Kitchen and go to town. Okay, so that's getting ready. Now we're in our session. We need to make use of chat by having chat happen. So I'll offer a few suggestions, but let's just say that you elicit chat and you get responses. You're pleased with what you get, and so you're going to use Zoom to save your chat, and this is the special trigger that you need to be familiar with. I would make a video showing how to do this, but I haven't figured out how to actually have a video record use of Zoom's panels. They kind of vanish. But just to sort of zoom in here, I have these little comments up above to explain this, but Zoom updates often, and it may be that by the time you watch this video they will have moved things around, but I find the menu I want underneath this 3-dot sort of extras menu. It just says save chat, very, very unpresuming. And you then will see that will change chat saved, and you will also see this little message show in Finder. You can click that link and it'll open up your file system, and that's really the point. We want to access the chat log. It will reveal your local copy of that file, and you know what to do, because now we have the go ahead. We're able to move forward because we have that copy, and that's of course again what we were looking at here. The fact is, you won't have to do that step again. You will need to save it again, but we'll talk about that in a bit. The next thing, step 3, this is actually using the Chat Kitchen. So I'm going to talk through a bit, and then I'm going to show, and then we'll wrap up. Take a moment to review the log data that you've pasted. Maybe while you weren't watching, participant sent you, or student sent you a private message, and you don't want to put that out in the world. You want to take a moment to see what's been coming into you, and also you might, as I'll show or encourage you to think about, is just remove sections, delete parts of that chat log that are no longer relevant. Then we'll talk a little bit about output format. I won't go through all of them, but basically it depends on what you want to keep or omit, depending on what your task is, your activity is, and also using that in a spreadsheet is very convenient. Okay, press submit. That's what we'll do, and we'll see what that is. And having fun, we won't get to really go into that right now, but there's so much that happens at this point. You get that output from the tool, you get that reformatted chat log from the tool, and there's a lot you can do. Here's the thing though, again, just to mention, you've got to click Save Chat again to get those latest changes and overwrite the file that's on your computer. If you don't trigger Zoom again in that special little link, or that button that's hiding in the 3 button menu, you're just going to look at the file you had previously. Okay, so you just have to double click that file to check. All right, so let's do our demo now. Here's the demo. So remember what I've got over here. I've got my session. Now, even though of course this is the complete session file, I'm going to pretend that this is our first activity, this first 8 minutes or so, and I'm going to be here on my Chat Kitchen, and I've just gone through the process, the copy paste, and there it is. I'm going to just go with the default, which is I'm going to click this, give me what I want, which is no longer all that noise effectively, and it's going to be something I could put into, again, that's where it gets interesting. And I'll do one more quick demo here. And oops, I'm going to go do this. Oh, it's a good reminder. You've got to reload the page, not click back arrow as I just did. But here's again, I'm going to go back to that chat log just to kind of model what I was talking about. Okay, I'm going to make sure I don't have somebody say something. Imagine I'm skipping some portion that was not meant for the entire group, so I've done a little looking, and also I'm not going to choose this other information that's again not part of the current task, or instead of do it in the chat log, I can copy this and do it here in the text entry box. Let's just say from here back I didn't really need to keep. This is all I need right here. And this time I'm going to turn it into a comma separated value field. I'm going to copy all this. You could do Command A and then copy. I'm going to go to a spreadsheet and plug that in, and there it is, right? So it's in columns, and I'd be able to do some additional notes over to the side. Maybe after class I might evaluate. I could sort by the name, as well as then compare what it seemed certain students were more active. I might ask myself, oh, so and so is not participating as much as I think they should, so on and so on. And speaking of so on and so on, this is as you spend more time inside of these chats, the ideas just come to you, and you get going and going faster and faster. Obviously I'm not going to read this slide, but it's here. I hope it's going to be of interest to you. There's so much here in terms of the options. direct messages that allow you to encourage students who otherwise might be a little more shy to respond, structured responses, or you could just think of them as sentence stems that would be delivered again as direct message, for example, that you could quickly sort if the students are told to begin the sentence in a certain way, like if they're voting for something, yes because, or no because, and you will know who said this. You'll have a record of that, but you would strip away students' names and you be able to sort it. The eyes have it, that kind of thing. Another thing that I'm looking forward to, but I haven't done, but I was just thinking of in terms of getting ready for this presentation. It's like, this is kind of like a competitor with Kahoot. Instead of just have people like click on pretty squares, you could actually get them to provide justification for a multiple choice answer. Choice A because, that kind of thing. And so role plays, this is another idea of, it's like if you want to generate a role play, and I'll hold it right there because there's so many ways to sort of like imagine what that might be. But the fact is there's so many different ways to use this text while you're in the session, and that's one of my ways that I especially favor using it. So let's review. Reformat those chat logs with the utility. Use the output in your practice either as real time as you unfold your ideas in your presentation, or afterwards when you're more methodical. Use all of this to help you close the distance between you and your audience with more of your audience's help. That's the bottom line. So here's my email. Please get in touch. I especially I'm fond of the idea that teacher coders like myself would have plenty to spill coffee together about. So that's it. Thanks so much for your time, and I hope you enjoy using the Chat Kitchen.